This is Mary Jo and welcome to my kitchen. Today we are continuing the Thanksgiving Day feast and we're talking about sweet potatoes. Now what we typically do is we have the sweet potatoes and we do put it into a pie shell. Big favorite with my family, but I've also started through the years introducing different types of sweet potatoes where you can do differently with them. So this is what we have here. Now, I start off by preparing these are cut sweet potatoes, and I start with that, and then I also at the same time make the sweet potato fries. Now what I've done is I've got some sweet potatoes that are plain. I added some curry seasoning to some, which it's delicious. I just can't believe how good it is. And then I've also added some garlic and some peppers to my sweet potatoes. But you don't really need anything. I feel sweet potatoes have such wonderful flavor, so you don't really need anything. But it's good to mix it up. So I start with that. I cook that into the oven, 350. This takes about 15, maybe 20 minutes to cook to get nice and brown, and you want the fries nice and crispy. At the same time, once I've put that into the oven, I start with the cut up sweet potatoes. Now these are sweet potatoes and red skin potatoes. They're both a big favorite with my family, and it's a nice, visually it looks nice and it's delicious. It's a nice addition. You can also add onions to the dish, but whatever you prefer, and it's really up to you. Now to this, I spray it with the butter spray, and then I add the garlic to it, the garlic powder. And it's a great flavor. It really brings out all the flavors of the sweet potato and the red skin potato, and it's a nice addition. So I have that, and I have that baking at the same time, same temperature, it's perfect. Then what I also do is I take the actual sweet potato, and I've baked 3 of them in the oven. You put a little slice in it with a knife so it doesn't explode, and throw them into the oven, and then they come out and they're wonderfully soft, and then I cut them in half, and I make it, each one's going to be half of one potato. So what I've done is, once it's nice and hot, it comes out of the oven, and then it sits for about 5 minutes. You still want it warm, but you don't want it to be hot so it burns your fingers. Then what you do is you scoop out all that wonderful sweet potato. And people have made sweet potato pie and sweet potato double stuff, which is what this is called, in many different varieties. I've known that they put butter, they put brown sugar, they put different spices. It's really up to you. What I do is, because I'm trying to watch the calorie count, I don't add any butter to this, and I do add, for 3 potatoes, these are pretty large potatoes, for 3 large potatoes, I only put in about 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of light brown sugar I use, and it really adds to the taste, and there's really not a lot of calories in that. Now what I would do is take this, I scoop it all out, mix it all up, mash it just like you were making the mashed potatoes, add whatever you want to it, but try just adding a few things because you really want that sweet potato flavor to come through. And then I also add just a tiny bit of milk. I use the fat-free milk, which is a great taste. Now I also know people who, once they have this all done, at the top of it they add a little bit of cheese, maybe some grated cheddar cheese. It's really up to you, but I find that the sweet potato itself is just a wonderful flavor. So then once it's all mixed up, all mashed, then what I would do is just put it back in. Of course, this is the speedy version. Put this back in, and then I would stick it back into the oven, the sweet potato, back into the oven. I like it to get brown. This is right before I'm going to put it onto the table. The top gets brown, and the aroma is just fantastic, and it's a nice, nice addition. Meanwhile, once I've done that, all my other different styles of sweet potatoes are really cooked. So I scoop them out and I just put them in. There you go. You see that type. You see the cut up one with the red skin potato. And this is really my favorite, the double stuffed sweet potato. I put it in right back into the shell. You can eat the shell, the skin. Of course, you wash it, the sweet potato first, and then when you cook it, it's nice and soft. Or if some people prefer not to, then they can just eat it. But it's got a very nice presentation for your table. Now, the nice thing about sweet potatoes is that you can do this ahead of time if you do have time, and freeze it, and then just take it out of the freezer. Don't cook it all the way. If you're going to do that, don't cook any of this all the way. The double stuffed you have to, but do not put it back into the oven until you bring it out for Thanksgiving Day meal, and then you're going to heat it up. And same true for all the other ones. It just won't overcook it. It adds to the flavor, and it's really wonderful. So that's it. That's some varieties for your sweet potato. Add to the feast of Thanksgiving. Enjoy it, and I'm going to start with one of these. I'm going to take the whole dish. One of these double stuffed. You've got to try this. It's really just fabulous. Enjoy. So sweet, so delicious.